beautiful morning to you and welcome to Sport Talk right here on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Emmanuel Michael. Glad to be here this morning to take you through the happenings in the world of sports. Top of our menu this morning, Port Harcourt to host the NBBF League finals. Coming in from the world of tennis, Sina withdraws from Davis Cup title defense. And in the world of football, Arsenal maintains a perfect UEFA Champions League start. Details of this and many more will come your way after this short time out. Don't go anywhere. All right, you're welcome back from that short break. But I'm not alone in the studio this morning, as I have with me to, discuss all that we have for you in the world of sports, Mr. Rex Pele. Rex, good morning and welcome to Sport Talk.
Good morning to you, Michael. Thank you for having me on the show this morning.
All right, let's roll this morning from the world of basketball, because the Nigerian Basketball Federation, NBBF, has announced Port Harcourt, Rivers State, as the host city for the final of the 2025 Nigerian Men's Premier Basketball League a few days ago. According to a statement signed by the NBBF Vice President and the Chairman of the Premier Basketball League, Bobs Ogunade, and released by the Federation's Secretary, Mrs. Amina Amachi, the decision followed the successful conclusion of the Atlantic and Savannah conferences. After inviting bids from participating teams to host the Final 8 and Final 4 phases, the NBBF confirmed that Rivers Hoopers Basketball Club emerged as the sole bidder for the both competition. In their proposal, Rivers Hoopers pledged to provide a standard venue, adequate facilities, top-notch security, medical support, live online streaming of all games, transportation to and fro competitions venue, financial assistance to participating teams, and accommodation subsidies for some of these teams, not also forgetting logistics support to federation to ensure a smooth and hitch-free event. The final 8 is scheduled to hold from October 26th to November 3rd, 2025. The teams are expected to arrive on October 26th with matches to be played in a round-robin format from October 27th to November 2nd. So, Rex, River State, once again chosen, of course, to host the final phase of this year's Nigeria Premier Basketball, competitions. With what they've actually outlined as what they intend to offer, good transportation system, security, logistics support, financial support as well for all the teams. Do you think that River State can meet up with all of these, said things on ground for the rest of the team that are coming down here?
Definitely we can, knowing fully well that River State is the treasure base of the nation. We have the enormous resources, and I think we can do that. And I also see it as from another angle of opportunity, of engagements, also with tourism. When things like this happen, you have an opportunity to expand your network, to also make money. Because from, I think, 7th of November or so, or 27th of November or October, there will be a lot of engagement, activities, buying and selling. The states will be a tourist states, So, and people will take advantage of these economic activities to make sure that they make something out of it. So it's another way to also expand our network. It's another way to improve tourism and to also make sure that we grow as a state also. So I think it's a welcome development for Rivers Hoopers.
Welcome development for Rivers Hoopers and for Rivers State in particular, because people, when they come in here, they will certainly eat, they will certainly recharge their phone, they will certainly lodge because they're not going to sleep on the air. So all these amount to, business activities, flowing, exchanging hands, and of course money will also exchange hands. We talk about tourism as well, a lot to benefit from this. So we say kudos to the Rivers State government and to Rivers Hoopers in particular for getting the nod to host the final phase of this year's Nigerian Premier Basketball League competition. All right, Dolphins Basketball Club of Lagos, the reigning champions of the 2025 Women's Premier Basketball League, has withdrawn its intention to host the 2025 FIBA African Zone 3 Women's Basketball Championship right here in Africa in the qualifier. They washed their hands off the hosting of the week-long qualifiers after the Nigerian Basketball Federation failed to grant the mandatory endorsements required for hosting in that particular one. So it looks as though the Nigerian Basketball Federation, they are not doing enough because Dolphin had communicated to the Nigerian Basketball Federation of their intention to host the rest of Africa. But then, up till date, 1 month has gone down, no response. And this is not good because if we had hosted it, it will also be an advantage for the team because they will be playing at home. Then again, you talk about at least boosting the economy because as the rest of African teams come down to Nigeria, Lagos to be precise, we tend to benefit a lot. What do you make of Nigerian Basketball Federation's leadership so far?
I think it's not a good one when a club has brought about its clear intention to host a major tournament, and the federation itself is not showing support, to them. It shows that a lot is at stake, a lot is going on, is not going well for the NBBF at the national level. So I think that a lot of investigation need to be put into place to know what really transpired. That is it that they are afraid of the compatibility of hosting such major tournaments, knowing that it involves Africa. If that is the case, then we have a long way to go. We should be able to put our house in order to make sure that when teams like or Nigerian clubs, are bidding for such hosting rights, the NBBF should be able at least to endorse them. Then let it be that it is the international scene that is not giving them endorsement, but not from your own governing body. So I think it is not good enough for them.
Not good enough indeed for them. The Nigerian Basketball Federation need to do enough. They need to do a lot in order for that synergy to exist between clubs right here. This would have been a great opportunity for Dolphin to host the rest of African teams back here in Nigeria and know what that means to the economy of the nation and to that very state in particular. The club revealed that it has secured official approval from the FIBA African Zone 3 to host the event in Lagos between November 1st and 7th, a move that would have given Nigeria's team the rare opportunity to compete at the home scene and thrill local fans with top-tier African basketball actions. However, despite weeks of official correspondence, including letters, calls, and reminders to the NBBF executive since September 26, the Federation reportedly ignored all communications and failed to endorse the mandatory hosting firm. Without that document, rather, foreign teams cannot be cleared to travel to Nigeria in that particular championship. Clubs from Niger, Republic, and of course Togo, Ghana, Benin Republic, Burkina Faso, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Nigeria were expected to compete at the 2025 FIBA African Zone 3 Women's Basketball Championship in Africa qualifier right here. Meanwhile, FIBA Africa Zone 3 is in search of a new host for the competition, and there are stronger indications that one of the other 7 members will also be given the bidding rights, of course, to host that particular one. All right, we'll see how all of this go, but I can tell you that it's not a good one at all. Meanwhile, still talking the world of tennis this morning, we can tell you that Nigeria's teenage table tennis sensation, Mighty Kuti, has been named the most improved male player at the 2025 ITTF African Championship in Tunis, capping an exceptional season that saw him break into the world top 200 for the first time in his career. The 14-year-old prodigy earned recognition from the International Table Tennis Federation, ITTF Africa, following a string of outstanding performances that helped Nigeria reach the semi-finals of the Continental Championship. The reigning West African champion was instrumental in Nigeria's strong showing in Tunis, displaying maturity and skills beyond his years. Meanwhile, the Nigerian men's team received the Stage Fair Play Award for their exemplary sportsmanship in their final group match. A team voluntarily switched from green to red jersey despite winning the coins to toss to allow Morocco to wear their green kits with names in compliance with tournament regulation. All right, talk about tennis. We are having a young prodigy who is, of course, taking the African table tennis scene to higher heights. Just 14 years, he has made it to the top 200 rankings. Keep talking about the need for we to discover new talent, to replace the aging Aaron Quadri and the rest of them. We should be able to keep a close monitoring on this very young, talented player to see him grow and, of course, give him the support that he needs, gain more exposure, because that is the way to go, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Matthew Kuti has shown prowess, at that age, in his career, and to be ranked among 200 best tennis players in Africa is not a mean feat. So I think that eyes needs to be on him to make sure that he improves, as the years goes by, and gets to that level of, or even surpass the level of Aruna Kodri. I think if everything is on, all hands are on deck, I see him going places with his talent, enormous talent that he has at this moment.
All right, talking the world of tennis, but this time around long tennis, Canadian teenager Victoria Mboho finished last year ranked 350 rather in the world, but she is now just outside the top 20 and determined to move onward and upward next season. The 19-year-old won her first WTA title at her home country, talking about the Canadian Open in August, beating top seed Corey Kokogov in the last 16 before downing former world number 1 Naomi Osaka in the final. Boho is competing at the Pan-Pacific Open in Tokyo this week and started her campaign with a 6-3, 6-3 win over compatriot Bianca Andreescu yesterday. All right, let me give you some more table tennis, tennis story this morning, because Italy's second seed Camilla Rostaleo was knocked out in the match of the Graham Open, Slovakia, Katarina Kuzmova in that game yesterday. Rostaleo dropped the first set but bounced back to win the second on a tie break to force a deciding set. However, the 30-year-old was broken early that final set by Kuzmova and went on to lose 7-6, 6-7, 6-4. There was to be no such a problem for fourth seed Katinka von Dechman of Liechtenstein, or fifth seed Raluca Georgiana Seban of Cyprus. Seban was forced to do things the hard way. However, after dropping the first set against Great Britain's Rana Aquastoba, she was able to go through in that particular one yesterday. Meanwhile, Britain's Cameron Norrie battled his way to victory over 7th seed Andrei Rublev to progress to the second round of the East Bank Open. World number 35 Norrie won the 2-hour match with a 6-2, 6-7, 6-2 win in Australia. The Britons served for the four match 5-4, and Rublev landed his first break of serve to force a tie break, which he won to set up a deciding set. Former world number 8 Norrie regrouped to break Rublev's serve in the second game to take command of the third set. So big one for Rublev yesterday. Let's head straight to other stories this morning, because a lot is happening in the world of boxing this morning. We'll talk a lot of tennis story this morning, but then let's take one more tennis story before we head straight to other sports, because this morning I can tell you that a 4-time Grand Slam champion Yannick Sinner will not be part of the Italy team aiming to clinch a third consecutive Davis Cup title next month. Sinner says he has taken the decision to miss the Davis Cup so he can have extra preparation time for the start of next season, with the Australian Open being the first Grand Slam of the year in January. Meanwhile, the 24-year-old reached all 4 Grand Slam singles final in 2025, winning the Australian Open and the Wimbledon in that particular order. So the man is saying that he's taking a rest to bounce back strong next season. About some more boxing stories before we leave the world of non-football. Former super middleweight world champion Carl Froch has has called on Anthony Joshua to retire from boxing following his brutal knockout defeat he suffered in the hands of Daniel Dubois.